According to the 2010 pet abuse, pet abuse database, there were 870 cruelty cases against animals reported in the U.S. alone. As of January 1st, 2011, there were 44 new cases on record, and the numbers are rising. Hello, my name is Mary Click, and I'm an advocate for the prevention of cruelty and abandonment of animals. Now, the statistical data I just quoted to you basically surrounds cases where the damage was extreme. It did not include minor cases of abuse, nor did it contain any stray abandonments. And the reason for that is because the numbers are so staggeringly high that no one could keep track of them. Now, why is this happening? My opinion that people really don't fully understand what it takes to care for these creatures. They take on ownership for the sake of ownership and don't do the research necessary to know the responsibilities. In a study performed by the American Humane Society, they state that 70% of animal abusers already have a criminal record. Now, what they're saying to me is that, or what they're saying to us, is that animal cruelty problems are people problems. And when animals are abused, people are at risk. I believe that's true. Now, why should we care for these creatures? It's my belief that domesticated animals are the equivalent of a child or a loved one who is solely dependent upon us for all of their needs. Not just the essentials like food and water, but love and guidance, which definitely is essential in the growth of their character and well-being. Now, I believe all animals are unique, and they have their own personality and character. And it's funny, but I believe that domesticated animals so relate to us in their ability to feel pain, sadness, loneliness, anger, and they absolutely they have a pulse, they have a heart. They reproduce and they nurture their children. So now it bothers me that you wouldn't come over here and abuse me. Well, most people wouldn't, but you choose to do something to a precious life. That just gets me. Now, what are the steps that we can take in order to stop this from happening? I believe the first thing is to be responsible individuals. Now, I am, people would say I'm a cat lover, and I do love cats, but that's not true. I am an animal lover, and I would adopt every single homeless animal in this world. But I know that's irresponsible, and it would be considered hoarding, which is now a crime. Now, I would also like to have a dog, but because of my financial situation, my living situation, my lifestyle, it was irresponsible to get a dog. So instead, I chose a cat. A cat is self-sufficient, doesn't require much space, makes their own fun, requires food, water, a clean litter box, and a warm place to stay. And then when they want their affection and companionship, they come to their people, and believe me, they do. Now, the next step is, let's put it this way, most domesticated animals are abandoned due to no fault of their own. It's their people who have financial problems, death in the family, sickness, relocation. That's fine, but be responsible. Call your vet, call a shelter, call a friend, go online, go on Facebook, put out ads, do the responsible thing. Don't leave your animal tied to a post in the basement of an abandoned building where he can't fend for himself. That's irresponsible, and that's a crime. Now, the next thing is to stop the breeding. Jesus, do we need to add to the numbers of abandoned pets? No. So let's stop that. You cut it off. Believe me, if you want a pure breed, go to the adoption center, go to the shelters. They're there. There's numbers of them, scores of them. Take that money we're going to spend on that pure breed, give some of it back to the shelters. Okay? Help them out. They depend on public donations. They'd be most grateful. Call up your family members. Maybe they need a cat or a dog that needs to be sterilized to prevent future hardship of them going out and having more babies, etc., etc. Next thing is even non-animal lovers, okay? Maybe you have a truckload of feral cats in your neighborhood. Stop complaining about, do something. Remember, these animals are abandoned because they're a product of human irresponsibility. They're only doing what they know how to do to survive. So help your situation, help them. Go out and buy some humane traps. Bring them to the shelters. Get them sterilized. Help, with the cost of the sterilization. Even if they're reintroduced into your neighborhood, they're not going to reproduce, and the male cats will not spray. Okay, kittens, if you see a bunch of kittens, bring them to the shelters. Believe me, feral kittens early enough can be socialized to be adopted. That's a good thing. And if you see abuse, report it. You wouldn't sit idly by while somebody was beating the crap out of a kid. Don't do it for animals. Okay, now the bottom line is that we're the adults in this situation. We have to be responsible for these little lives, these people that cannot speak for themselves. We're their voices. So speak up. Let's get it done. Okay? And I believe that if we take responsibility and we get involved, I think we could decrease these numbers just a little bit, but every little bit helps. And maybe eventually in the future, we'll be able to stop this widespread epidemic. Remember, animals are people too. Thank you very much.